Hello and welcome to another video where I just ramble on with a single still image as a background. And today I'd like to bring up a criticism I have of The Last Jedi, one that I haven't seen mentioned anywhere else. And that criticism is focused specifically on the Canto Bight scene, and I guess more specifically the inhabitants in it. In The Last Jedi, it was revealed that these ultra-rich assholes in the galaxy are the sort of military-industrial complex of the Star Wars universe. They're in charge of all the companies and the factories that manufacture the weapons, and they sell them to different groups throughout the galaxy. And the film attempted to present a sort of moral gray by pointing out that both the First Order and the Resistance or Rebellion or whatever they decide to call themselves in that particular scene, both groups purchase weapons from these people, the same people. And the film tried to present that as some sort of huge moral issue. At least it was supposed to be for Finn, who looked as if for the first time, as I think Mueller said in his critique of The Last Jedi, like for the first time he realized that there isn't all good and all bad. There is a huge problem with this, however, and the problem is, even if these two sides are purchasing weapons from the same people, that doesn't equate the two sides when it comes to morality. The First Order wants to rule the galaxy with an iron fist, reviving the empire of not even the old days, just 30 years ago. And they do so by threatening to blow up planets, actually blowing up planets, kidnapping children and raising them as troopers through years-long indoctrination campaigns, slaughtering entire villages just to get a little bit of information they want. And the Resistance wants to stop them. They don't want multiple planets blown up. They don't want children kidnapped and turned into cannon fodder. So how are they in any way morally equivalent just because they go to a distributor of the arms they need in order to carry out their battles and happens to be the same people? We've seen the First Order do a lot of horrible things, and we haven't seen them do anything good. We haven't seen them bring order to a galaxy in chaos. We haven't seen them benefit anyone but themselves. And on the inverse, we haven't seen the Rebellion or the Resistance subjugate people. We've seen them act very stupid, but we haven't seen them act maliciously. And it's true. The world is full of moral grays. Good people have done shitty things in life. They have character flaws. They're only human. And groups that are widely considered to be the good guys tend to do pretty shitty things along the way to achieve their victories. In World War II, the Allies were the good guys, the Axis were the bad guys. I don't think this is a controversial statement unless you're literally the president. And yet, America has opened up internment camps where Japanese American citizens were imprisoned for the crime of being the same race as the people in the country America is at war against. In Russia, Stalin has his own labor camps for political dissenters. The United States was practicing eugenics programs, and it only fell out of fashion after everything the Nazis have done has been revealed to the larger world. We are far better off because the Allies won, and the work America and Russia has done to do that is invaluable to that victory. But of course, there's moral grays. And if you wanted to present that in a movie, you would probably have two characters talk about what Germany is doing, and then someone pointing out that the United States and Russia and anyone else in favor of the Allies have also practiced very similar, if not exact, things themselves. Now let's say that in some alternate history, the Allies and the Axis were all buying their weapons and ammunition and supplies and their ships from the same source. Let's also say that the moral grays I've presented earlier didn't actually happen. The United States understood that Japanese American citizens aren't spies waiting to overthrow the government for their home country, and Stalin was having a particularly good decade that time and decided not to open up any labor camps. Would it then realistically be a moral conundrum, a moral gray, that one set of countries is buying weapons from the same place as another set of countries, and the reason that first set of countries is buying those weapons is that they can stop that second set of countries from brutally killing off millions and millions of people? Realistically, would you look at that and believe that there's this huge moral or ethical issue with the fact that they both buy stuff from the same source? Like, they could have gone a lot of different ways with this. For example, it could have been that the people in Canto Bight, this casino planet, were pulling the strings in war behind everyone's backs. They were the ones ensuring it keeps going. They were the ones bribing the First Order and the Resistance to ensure that they are able to keep lining their pockets with X-Wing purchases. They could have presented it in an actual moral gray, but they didn't. The reason that we should be skeptical as to whether or not the First Order is really all 100% bad, and that there's in any way an equivalent with the Resistance who aren't supposed to be all 100% good, was a shit reason, and just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out in their universe, it wouldn't work out in our universe, it just does not work. And if you really want a Star Wars movie where it was presented that the good guys from the original trilogy weren't actually all that good, there's literally 3 movies called the Star Wars prequels that deconstructed the Jedi and the Republic to point out all of their shortcomings and flaws, and point out they are ultimately the reason the Empire was able to rise into power in the first place. So yeah, that's just one flaw of this film I've noticed that I just haven't really seen anyone else point out, and thought I'd bring it to light. I mean, this movie just has problems upon problems. It's problems all the way down. And a lot of people much better at analyzing these movies than I am have pointed out a significant amount of other issues. But this is one I have, so I hope you enjoyed the video, that I gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care.